Now, the discipline was not temporary either. It felt like it was going on forever and ever. And they see this reproach that the surrounding nations are just there mocking God. They're like, Israel, all the people around Israel are just mocking. Like, where's your God? You look at the hardship you're going through. Your people are dying. Where's the God that you say you believe in? And then now Israelites just turn and they start begging God. And they're begging God to like put his name on it. Like, God, like, defend your name. Like, stand for your name. Like, we don't do it for us, do it for you. Like, we want your name to be great, not our name. I believe that's a huge principle that needs to be in our hearts going into the semester. I've seen, Milani's seen it, Oscar's seen it, maybe not, maybe it was a little before Milani, but we've seen a campus ministry go from 5 to 20 in one semester in the Antelope Valley. So go from 7 to 23 is not like some unheard thing, but can you just imagine if this room then has 23 and just at the end of the year, college students? Very possible, and teens, amen. We got Cruz here. We got Sanaya, part of the teen ministry, as a baptized disciple. We know Talia's studying the Bible and could be baptized at the winter workshop as another high schooler. And so even Patrick's sister that came out to service yesterday was interested in studying. So who knows? We'll see. The teen ministry's blowing up. So, but we got to make sure that we're begging God for him to put his name on it. Let's do it for his name. Let's help make God's name great. I always pray that I want people to know that God is alive, he's real, and that he's powerful. That's why I want people to have a relationship. That's why I want to see people come into the kingdom. It's not because I just want to build like a big campus ministry. Right. I do, but only because what that means is more people are right with God, right? Not for me or for somebody else. But what I loved is that God cared more about the people than he cared even about his own name. He was willing to allow the other outside nations to see God as weak and not powerful or not loving or whatever. And by not acting quickly, but in order that his people would learn the lessons they needed to learn. God will always allow us to learn the lessons we need to learn before just giving us the results he desires. Yeah. Right? He loves you far more than just allowing you to have like the candy without doing your chores. Right? Mm-hmm. God cared more about the people than his own reputation. He had the power to snap his fingers, destroy them. He had the power to just end it. But all he thought about is if my people can learn a lesson from this time, they will establish a kingdom that can never be destroyed. Mm-hmm. Right? God's heart is that you need to solidify the people. That we need to be solid in our convictions. We need to be solid in our unity in the family that we have here. Our job God's given us is to grow the church. Mm-hmm. He expects us to go make disciples. With his help, his guidance, the Spirit moves using his scriptures, but it's a call that he expects you to do, which is interesting. He's limited himself there, which he's done from the beginning of time. You read through Genesis that no fruit could grow on the earth until man was going to work it. Yeah. Right? The reality is God could have just spoke it, but he limited himself. He limited us. He chose to that we would be co-workers with God to produce a result. This last year we just saw 37 additions. We saw 22 baptisms. That's more baptisms than we've seen in the last 4 years. And yet, I believe we can have far more additions just from the campus. I believe we can have far more baptisms. If you think, you don't have to raise your hand here, but just think about it. Like, when's the last time you've personally helped baptize somebody? Right? Like that's it. Like the goal is that everyone makes a disciple in a year. Now, that's what we need here. If we're going to hit our goal, we need everyone to make a disciple. That's 11 people making a disciple that turns into 22 disciples, and we get one for good luck that we all do together. Amen? Amen. That's it. But that's so, or actually, there's 13. If one of us, each of us make us a disciple, because Eric will be placing membership with us. He's not in the chat.
In Seattle, right?
Yeah, does he here?
Huh?
Does he here?
No.
Oh.
No, he's not here. But he'll be placing membership with us in the winter workshop. And so, yeah, he's gonna pop out of the closet here.
Is he important?
No. You know, so I say we get our convictions, bless you. We get focused. We get hungry. Don't go into the year casual.
Right.
Yes, the winter workshop is going to be phenomenal. It's always faith building. You guys saw how the video started off last night. Tony was baptized at last year's winter workshop, amen, in Chicago. I'm grateful it's now in Seattle, amen. We're not driving across the country. We're just driving right up the street, and it's not as cold as Chicago. We can actually go outside and enjoy ourselves without getting frostbite. But I think the reality is we gotta go. We gotta be deliberate about what we're trying to learn. You gotta take great notes. You gotta follow along. You're gonna be tired, but you're gonna come out of the winter workshop rejuvenated, faithful, spiritual, closer to God than ever. And the truth is, that's when God moves. That's when God really works through things. He's not working because you have the talent or because you're really talkative. He's gonna work because you've drawn closer to Him. As I shared last night in my lesson, if you guys read Deuteronomy 10, it just talks about how God does the miracles for you. But it's like, we don't want to become like spoiled kids that just expect like us to have bad behaviors, but for God to still perform miracles. Like, yeah, I'm not a good disciple, but I still want you to baptize these people in my life. Or I'm not a great disciple, but I want my family to become disciples. Like, come on, God. You should just make that happen. I think the reality is we just draw close to God and have the best relationship we can have with God ever. And that's going to take humility. It's going to take us being honest, open, real with each other. The brothers, we got to be tighter. Sisters, you got to be tight. This has to be family. The cool thing about a small group is we can kind of restart the atmosphere. But that means, like, I think for all of us, like, what we prioritize and the convictions we build is exactly what's going to get built off of it, right? And so if we're not super tight, then the people we help get baptized, they're not going to feel tight and part of the family. And so this has to be family. We should just love hanging out in and outside of meetings, with meetings, but we got to do fun stuff together. If U of O can go from just a few disciples to 5 or 7 U of O students at a pretty prestigious school, I think, and now they're family, they're tight knit, they're having fun, and they don't have big Sunday services. Like we can easily have a lot of fun together as a family, right? But stay undaunted, because hardships will come. There will become times where you're tired and you're trying to feel like, man, I'm sharing my faith, I'm reaching out, I'm praying, I'm reading, I just don't get it. I'm not meeting anybody. But Galatians 6:9 says, do not become weary in doing good. For the proper time you can reap a harvest if you do not give up. And so the harvest is promised for those who don't quit, not for those who just work hard, right? And so we got to just have this mindset. Let's stay undaunted. Let's go after it. Let's work hard. God is totally going to. Someone's calling you. Just so you know. Ignore that. No, I'm just kidding. And so let's have fun. Now the way we always do it, guys, is the first 2 weeks is a campus blitz of school, right? So as I was explaining to Christian yesterday, if you understand football a little bit, a blitz is that when the defense sends more defenders to tackle the quarterback than normal. And so they're sending more people so they have a better chance of tackling the quarterback. Our campus blitz, it's where we're going to choose to all work hard. And we're not going to live like this, but we do need to prioritize it. If we do the blitz with all of our hearts, we do it well, we push ourselves, God takes care of it. I truly believe God blesses the work. Yeah. And the rest of the semester is like, you got enough phone numbers of people you got to follow up with. And you're still reaching out throughout the day, but it's just such a strong start that it keeps fresh Bible studies coming in and going, and because it takes time to build with people. Think about how long Christian was just kind of doing a study, and then all of a sudden he just caught fire. Same with Marshall, how long we used to just kick it with Marshall and study with Marshall. Hanging out with Eddie, it was like a study a week for a little bit, and then it was like, I think it caught on. Then we convinced him to come to a retreat, and he got baptized at the retreat.
Poor Eddie.
And he baptized his mom, amen? And so, the reality, guys, is the campus blitz, this isn't like, hey, I'm going to share with 1-2 people a day. The campus blitz isn't to get you to share your faith. It's to get us to share our faith with a numeric amount of people and a number that we wouldn't normally share our faith with. That seems a little unrealistic, but we're going to do it because we want to meet more people and we want to be able to have some great Bible studies. Amen? Because we know Bible studies, phone numbers turn into Bible studies turn into disciples, which turn into baptisms, which turn into people going to heaven. Amen?
Amen.
You don't get to have baptisms and people going to heaven without studying the Bible with them.
Yeah.
You don't get Bible studies just by sitting at a table and hoping somebody sits down with you.
Right.
You got to go talk to people, right? So there's this effort of it builds, right? And so, and it's not something I'm going to ask you to do without me doing it. We're going to be there with you. We're going to be doing it. Shauna's going to be a lot more focused at PSU. It looks a little more relatable for Shauna and the kids to be at PSU than UP. And I'm going to keep doing my best to fit into UP, man. And then Angie will be there trying to help get some women going at UP. So then the hopes is that we can get UP built up to 8. And then by the end of the year, they can have their own Bible talk of just UP students. Maybe a UP student will be leading that discussion. And then we'll be able to move on over to more campuses to help get those things going. So same thing with PSU and PCCs and things like that. So makes sense?
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a Bible talk at PSU. Eric and Milani will work through that. But again, the first 2. So guys, if you saw the calendar, we go to the winter workshop this weekend, and then we come back, and then those 2 weeks is really the church blitz. Now, truth is, some people will be on PSU starting tomorrow. School starts for them in a week, so people usually are going to start coming in. They're getting settled in. They're looking at classes. They're taking care of all their stuff before the semester. So if all of us can start trying to hit PSU this week, it will be effective that we can start meeting people, sharing our faith, and getting some good things going early. Amen. And so you guys, you do anything. You play a sport, it feels like you play soccer, you want to get 4 goals in the first half. Like it just, you don't want to try to have no goals and hope you're going to win the game in the second half. Right? That feels really good. You get ahead early and you get it ramped up, and then it's like, okay, we still need to play, we still need to work hard, but this is a comfy spot. I like where we're at, hey, it feels good. I got 25 phone numbers. I'm still going to be reaching out, but I got a lot of people that want to study the Bible. This is good. And it's going to feel good that you get to have a lot of people to start working with. Because the people you work with, the truth is, they become your best friends, right?
Sure.
You all of us, Tone had no idea he'd be this tight to many of you, and it's not even been a year yet, right? It's like a year and 7 days?
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
It is?
No.
No, it is.
Not even a year.
It's not a year.
Almost.
Yeah, but a year in 7 days, right?
Yeah, yeah.
8?
9.
9.
Yeah.
9.
Ooh, so it starts.
So right on the first day of semester,
Nice.
year old. So I think that's what's incredible.
Yeah.
Right? And definitely probably didn't think he was going to be leading a Bible talk in just a year old and different things, but it's exciting to see literally this is what could happen for many of the people we reach out to, we meet, because that's what God does. He bonds relationships. He brings us closer. And so we'll come back from the workshop. We'll have a 2-week blitz. We'll focus on sharing like crazy. And then on the 22nd of January, we have a huge Bring Your Neighbor Day service. So we want to bring everyone and their cousin out. You know, you meet everybody. We want everyone to come. Anyone you can meet and get convinced to come to that service, we want there. Our record attendance, I believe, is 157, and I think it's time to blow that thing out. So I'd love to have like 175 people at church that Sunday, and then Bible talks start that next week. So Bible talk will start at PSU. You guys will figure out a day with Eric and Milani that will work. Bible talks will start at UP. So then once a week, we'll figure out the schedule so they can work around you and Marshall's class schedules. But once a week, we'll all go share, and then we'll have an open discussion, and we'll try to have some guests, other students come attend this discussion so that we can start building up some interest in the people studying the Bible. Make sense? And so, and then the hopes is that we go, January is, a farmer has to go sow the seed before he can reap a harvest, right? January is all about sowing seed. We want to sow as much seed as you can. February, you're going to sow some more seed, but you're going to water all that seed. Really take, some will sprout fast. Some people might just jump on it and get baptized quick. Others, you're going to take some, like the whole month to hang out with and build a friendship with and show them you actually love them and you're teaching them the scriptures. And then March, we're hoping for the greatest harvest we've ever seen. Hopefully we'll see like 12 editions in March. So, but I say we try to help everyone in the campus get fruitful in the first semester. I think that's the mindset we have. And let's get ahead of our goals and not try to be running from behind. Make sense?
Yeah.
And so, I do think we should all pray through the, I do think everyone should pray through the number of people they'd like to share with for their Blitz. Like, what's your personal goal? And I do think you should talk to your disciple or the person that's in your life mentoring you and discipling you, is that if that's actually a faithful number for the Blitz. Now, do not use the excuses, I don't get to go to campus every day, so I'm not sharing my faith as a reason not to hit your Blitz goal. You can share at the store, you can share at the gas station, you can walk down your street and knock on doors, you can walk across the street and knock on the apartment doors, like, you can go anywhere. You can literally, the excuse I couldn't share my faith today is 100% an excuse. There are billions of people, millions that live in Portland. Like you couldn't walk into one person. Like what the truth is, you're saying is you didn't want to leave your house. That's it. You can literally walk outside and find somebody right now. And so we got to just be all about that. Make sense? And it's not just about one person or two people a day. Right? I really want you guys to challenge yourselves to like, hey, I'm going to go for like 20, 25 a day. I've come to learn with sharing our faith, like when you talk to people about Jesus, if you skip the first person, you'll skip every person. If you just share your faith with the first person you see, you get the fear out of the way. Right? Because for some reason in your gut, you're like telling yourself this is scary. There's nothing scary about it. Right? They're going to be more scared than you. Right? It's like when you see a mouse, you're like terrified. The mouse is actually terrified. Right? Like the mouse isn't going to do anything to you, but you're like, yikes, like I'm out of here. Right? So we do that sometimes, but you know, can you just imagine if all 13 of us shared with 20 people at a time, every day? Right? That's over 260 people a day that get to hear about Jesus. Right? And then times 14, math whiz, what's that?
What?
That's
I was thinking of my numbers, I'm sorry.
It's over 3,000 people in 2 weeks.
Crazy.
We could literally share our faith with 3,000 people, just 13 of us, in 2 weeks, if we all push ourselves. And now tell me, out of 3,000, how many do you think would actually come to church? Like, even if only 40 of them said, yes, I'm coming to church, like, how incredible is that? Don't worry about all the other 2,900 or whatever that didn't do it. The campus had 40 guests at church, like, holy cow. Right? And it's only from each of us saying, I'm going to go share with 20 people a day. Right? And so, have fun with it. Get creative with it as a Bible talk. We gotta at the winter workshop. We're gonna close the Rooted Campus Chat and then start up the new one. But I also think that we should have. I think Bible Talk should have their. Yeah, I think you gotta be. Yeah, I think you guys should have your own chats just to talk through Bible talks and like plans for each campus ministry. You know what I mean? I think you guys need to have like it's the PSU campus ministry, it's UP Rooted Campus Ministry, and so PCC is kind of mixed in with that until we can get a Bible talk there. We just need more students there. But let's just all go after that. So, any questions? Any thoughts? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Does that sound fun?